From the kitchen of the cabin, a look at the games that made us who we are in Ben and Steve's Advent Calendar. Another day and another time where Steve has stolen one of my games. This is one of the greatest works of art to have been created by a human being, and this is not hyperbole. Stephen, tell him about Concordia.
I really did steal this one because the first time I played it was at your place. You introduced me to this game, and you know what? I'm owning up to it. This game is worth stealing. I feel like I'm running out of hyperbole. I mean, I heap hyperbole on the games that I love so much. I wonder if the listeners are even going to find me credible.
I want to take you back, Steve. I want to take you back and see if this evokes any memories for you. We played this in my kitchen. You interrupted me when I'm bloody reading. We played this in my kitchen.
You're reading something?
If you interrupt me once more, I am going to buy a plane ticket, I'm going to come to Hoboken, and I'm going to kick you in the balls, all right?
I call your bluff.
Right, you ready?
Yep.
The listeners want to hear me read.
Do it.
We played this in my kitchen. We played back and forth, manipulated the machinery of the game, and we finished. Then we just stood, unbidden, our eyes fixed on the final state of the board, our minds fixed on the previous 2 hours. In rapt silence, we stood connected through an experience that didn't need the coarse chisel of words to elucidate it. We all felt it in that brief post-game silence. Without having to say, we knew what we had just experienced. And that was greatness. Do you remember that night, Steve?
It's seared into my soul. I mean, how can I possibly follow up that performance that you just gave? This game, I mean, just from that very night, this game and its author, my good friend, Mac Garretts, who...
Yeah, he ghosted me.
Who might remember me if I ever see him again. I don't know what it is. There's something ineffable because it's such a simple game. It's so simple. You know, you've got some cards, you've got the rondelle. Oh my God, the rondelle, Ben, the rondelle. I think this is where I discovered this. And, you know, of course, the map of the ancient Mediterranean, that's near and dear to my heart, and its various other permutations, and some simple rules, and the game, it just churns out joy. You know, you always have something to do. You never feel like you're blocked. You might not necessarily be winning, but there's always a path, and I think a game that can enable you to just like have fun with the experience without necessarily feeling like, I think that it's possible that any game is like this. My experience is like there are certain games that they're just not fun if you see like absolutely like no path to victory. You feel completely out of your depth. You don't get it. I mean, like a lot of the Silver Age games are like that. They're just like very hard to grok.
Right.
Concordia, and a lot of games by Mac Garretts, but Concordia, principal among them, is just like fun no matter what as an experience, sitting down and doing it. Whether you're winning or not, it almost seems beside the point because the game is just like so generative of a positive gaming experience. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what it is about this game that makes it work so well. We need to figure it out though, because I think all we're doing is heaping praise on it. But how do we get to the essence of what makes Concordia great, Ben?
So a great writer once wrote, Steve, it boils down to 2 things, simplicity and complexity, and putting those 2 things in the right places. This is the true genius of this game. Its simplicity leads the player into the game, and then the doors of complexity are thrown open in such a way as to ensure that it isn't the parsing of the rules that is complex, but being good at the game. The eternal wrestle with your own shortcomings. Understanding how to play the game is the simplest thing in the world. Play a card and do what it says. And that's what's so brilliant about Concordia. You play a card and do what it says, and yet from that, the sort of aftershocks of that one central decision is what creates this absolutely immersive, formative experience, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's a terrifically table-ready game because you don't have to learn a ton of rules all over again because you've forgotten them. You can probably sit down and make a 5-minute review. You're playing it. You're away. And, I don't think I'm very good at this game. I just want to play it. I want to play it right now. I know that I should be, building my deck very carefully, like very deliberately, picking specific cards because I'm trying to match up the gods and I'm trying to create like a board state that allows me to maximize points. I don't even care. You know what? I think this game, here's a great compliment, but it's going to seem a little bit backhanded. I think that when I'm playing this game, I become like you when you play games, because you've said in the past that you like to just do what feels right. And I have a hard time doing that when I play board games. I think because I don't want to take like loads of time on my turn because it annoys me when other people do that. So I try to figure out like what is optimal, and I do what I think is right. But when I'm playing Concordia, I feel like I can just like allow myself to be sort of carried away with what makes me feel good in that moment. Like that, I want that card, or I'm hoping it's still in the tableau so I can buy it. And I want to build my house in this city, or put my guy on this road, or whatever it is. I've never really cracked this game as like a strategist, and maybe I should. It would open new vistas to me, but I don't know. My experience playing it is just unremitting joy.
There are games that I like more, and there are games that I think are better than this. Not very many, but there are. But there is no game I've ever played that submerges me in the flow state like Concordia, right?
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's maybe the number one flow state game. Let's say that. And I want to just brief call out again to the Rondel. Maybe we don't talk enough about specific mechanics, but if board games are art, I think you're often saying that like mechanics are the medium, and this is a very, I think, mechanics forward game in that sense. I mean, it certainly doesn't matter that it's set in the ancient world. It could be set anywhere. And yeah, there are different maps, like Hansa Teutonica has different maps, but these are just abstractions ultimately. It's all about that card tableau, and it's all about that rondel, and I don't know, the interactions between these different mechanisms. It just works. It's just tight. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's just. This is a vindication, if ever one were needed, that games are not other media. You don't need stories tacked onto them. You don't need massive fucking dildos dominating the board. You don't need any of that ephemera making up for the pure mechanical brilliance of this game, right?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So why? I mean, even if it wasn't evident enough, why should we play this game?
I think especially for people who are new to the hobby, or if you want to get other people into the hobby, this is a great starting point. And it never occurred to me before, but if we were going to do a Ben and Steve holiday gift giving guide, I would put Concordia as the number one game on that list, because you can learn how to play it in less than 20 minutes, and you can finish a game in less than an hour or two. And I think if you want people to just get what gaming is all about, this is the game to start them with, and you will open their eyes to a new world that they never knew existed before.
Thank you for listening to this show and indulging our overweening nostalgia. If you would like to support the show, you can do that by going to patreon.com/5G4D. And we both wish you a very Merry Christmas.